No, yeah, because that when you said you were moving, that was like kind of a huge. Like I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Go where? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that place before.
yeah, yeah. It was a huge move. I actually never even visited before we came, but Melody had family here. Obviously, Melody's mom was also here. Her
Mm.
sister's in Qatar, which is really close, but we're
Yep.
like an hour away from Dubai. So, I always hear about Dubai and saw like images, so I was just like picturing that in my head.
I see. Did the move kind of come real quick?
No, we'd been talking about it for like a year before we actually did it.
Oh.
No, it wasn't that quick, and I think we were all kind of ready for because actually, you know what happened? The previous winter, I was like, man, I am actually sick of winter. I hate the cold. Why do we live in Canada? It was like just after COVID, so like a lot of our friends are like kind of moved out of Canada. Like we had some friends go to California, gonna go to Florida. And then like Melody started talking to her sister. Her sister's like, you guys should move out to Bahrain. And at first I was like, why would we do that? I have no friends there. There's no football. At the time I was working for TSN.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I love my job. I don't want to move out to and start something new. But then I started looking into it. And then that winter hit me. I was like, nah, forget this. I don't want to live in the cold anymore. All I did was look at the temperature year round. I'm like, I'm in, sign me up.
Really? That's it?
No, no, obviously it was more. I'm just kidding. But for me, I'm a very simple guy. So like if it's a warm weather place, there's family around, then I'm good with it. And the good schooling for the kids, good
Yeah.
environment to grow up in, that was number one. It was like the number one thing for real is like the quality of family life is went way through the roof.
Is
And
it?
that was like yeah, 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 for
Like
sure. For
like for
sure.
example?
Yeah. For example, we just have more help at home. So me
Mm.
and Melody are able to spend more time together. The kids like are just you're not in Canada when you have kids, like you gotta drive them everywhere. You gotta literally do everything and you're exhausted as a parent, right? But now we have some things that are taken care of. We're able to spend more quality time with the kids and
Mm.
uh and then just like enjoy their presence without having to worry about, hey, oh damn, we gotta go do laundry and
Mm.
get their breakfast ready. You have to do this, and that. No, we're able to spend more quality time with them. Go on like little things like go on walks, like all year round. It's actually so nice. Because right now it's November and I'm in a t-shirt and
Yeah.
shorts and sun, right? So yeah, no, we love it, man.
Oh, that's cool. No, I'm glad. 'Cause yeah, cuz that's something like I know it's too early for me too cuz I'm 25 now, coach.
No way. You're
Yeah, I'm 20.
joking.
Yeah, I'm 25 now.
That's crazy. When
Yeah.
did that happen?
Long time. Yeah. It's crazy because the first time you coached me was at the Super Elite football camp, and I remember we
Yeah,
connected because you were coaching wide receivers, and we were doing
yeah,
one-on-ones, wide receivers versus DBs. But then you're
yeah.
like, "Yo, Reina, I forgot what the check was. I think you were like, close the gap." And then I
Yeah,
closed
yeah,
the
you're playing
gap
off.
between my
Uh-huh.
wide receiver, and then I got an interception, and then you and I looked at each other, and like yeah, it was hype. And then that's our like
Yeah.
first connection with each other. So that was, I think, when I was 16, 15.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I think you're 15,
Yeah.
15, 16. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh,
Isn't it
I remember
crazy?
that. I actually remember that. And your memory is crazy because you just jogged my memory now. Yeah, I remember you're playing kind of off, and I don't know what it was, but I think you maybe you didn't want to get beat deep, but
Mm.
no, I saw the footwork. You always had great footwork. So I'm like, just play up. These guys won't know what to do. And you did it, and you're a great listener. You're great at taking instructions and applying it. So, obviously, you're a coach's dream and
Oh.
you applied it and it worked, then it was. I remember our
Oh.
moment. It was like, "Yo,
Thanks,
you did
coach.
it! You did it! Let's go!" Yeah, that was
No, thanks,
amazing.
coach. I appreciate that. Yo, yeah, no, and thank you for today. I know you're busy. You're like dad life in the time zone's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the time zone was a crazy because I'm like, because where you are is what 8 hours difference
Something like
for
that. Yeah,
me.
it's 8. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. on the 12th.
Wow,
It's a 12 for you,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's 8
It's
p.m. on the
it's
12th.
two p.m. now for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I was like, damn, this is like, so you're even crazier to from you to Toronto, like Canada, right?
Yeah, like
Like, how
14
do you,
hours.
oh my God, how do you, they're like in a different
Yeah.
life. Like
Yeah, I'm
they're
living
in
in
the
the
previous
future.
day. Yeah. How
Yeah.
how's been your adjustment to life in Japan?
Like honestly, only recently, I think it took me 2 years because I've been living here 2 years where
Yeah.
I feel like I feel adjusted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think
What
that's
was the
mainly
hardest part?
like that's like my fault because well, I started my adult life here. Like I moved
Yeah.
out. It's first time I'm paying all the bills, on my own.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then it's like I'm Japanese, but the language is new, the way of life is different. Like
Yeah.
Eastern society, Western society is like completely different. And then
Mhm.
also rugby is like I started from zero and I started here.
Right.
So I literally had to throw away it's like not throwing away your history, but like you've been playing football so long and like all
Yeah.
the memories and everything. Like it was tough. So I think I was just like really holding on to a lot of things. But
You're right.
just recently everything's once I started to let go, and I think when I was ready to let go, more opportunities started to come to me.
Ah, got you. Got you.
Yeah.
It's funny how
Yeah.
that works, eh?
Yeah, I know. Kind of it's like life is waiting for you, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's also hard to let go because it's all you know.
Yeah.
So I understand that part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I also felt like I just realized it's not that like everyone at home, everything that I love and stuff, I knew they would be there, but it was more so not that they wouldn't be there when in the future, it's that I wouldn't value those things the same way. And I
Mm,
think I was scared that I wouldn't value those same things.
right, right,
And
right.
so I
Wow,
wasn't
that's
allowing
powerful.
yeah, yeah, so I wasn't allowing myself to grow because I didn't want to grow because I didn't want to not
Right.
value
That
what's
makes a lot
special.
of sense, and that's part about being a human being. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what was the first instance where what allowed you to grow? Like, was there a point where you're like, I need to let go of some things just so I can have more opportunities, or like what made you do it, or was it by force or time? Like, what was the instance that
Mm,
you felt like you
it's
needed to do it?
a bit of everything. And also like last year January, I got real sick. Like
Mm.
fainted every day. I woke up like 3 months straight. It literally felt like I was hungover.
Whoa.
And I got like a whole bunch of scans and everything, and it just ruined my daily life.
Yeah.
But I think it was just my subconscious was just saying no. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, and it was crazy because I never thought something like that would happen to me. Because
Right,
you
right.
know,
Exactly. Being healthy your whole life. Yeah.
yeah, and just being like, mentally a certain way, like tough. So I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
that's like nah, like I'm not sorry, I'm not a pussy. You know, like
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm
you know, like
tough. Yeah.
yeah, that mentality. But then that
Yeah.
happened, and then from there I had to make adjustments.
Got you.
So yeah, and it took longer than I thought, and I'm finally enjoying life and meeting a lot of cool people, and yeah, it's good. Life's good now.
It looks like a good, like, cool lifestyle. You're playing professional rugby. You're living
Yeah.
in a new country, making new friends. It's like you're having that experience a lot of people never get in their lives, and I bet you're getting a lot of perspective from it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I like obviously you can relate too, except you're in a little bit
Yeah.
of a different stage and you have your girls and you're dad now, so like you have obligations. I'm my own
Right.
obligation. So it's different.
Yeah. No, I can relate because I remember when I first when I went to JUCO in San Francisco, and just first time, like you said, paying bills, living on your own, meeting new people. And it's kind of similar to you, where, I have all my friends in Canada. I'm like, man, do I really want to try to make new friends?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm not gonna live here forever. But once I started accepting that, hey, I'm gonna be in this city for a while, make the best of it, that's when, like, like you said, things started to open up. I started to have a better time. I started to, try new things, try new food, just go out more. Because we were kind of like the same. I was all like football, 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 right? So I was like,
Mm,
just knee deep in football. But once I started accepting, like, hey, let's make some new friends. Let's like open up. Let's explore the city. You never know when you're be in San Francisco again. Things opened up. Like I started meeting people that are still in my life today.
mm,
So it's and it's right. It took like about a year for me to do that,
yeah.
and that was weird for me because I'm naturally like outgoing, open-minded. But I don't know if I was just like terrified of being in a new country
Mm,
or what it was, but that really and that kind of changed my life because even now, like I moved to a new country now and it was like very seamless and it's because I've done it I did it when I was 19 years old, right? So
mm,
uh you going through this now is gonna change your life forever. For the better.
No, I appreciate that. And like just take it in like you are 19, like you're a 19-year-old
Yeah.
boy by yourself in the States in San Fran. Like
Yeah.
that's tough. Like looking back at that now, because I went to University of Manitoba, which is kind of far
Right.
from Toronto. It's not San Francisco. But
Right,
like I'm
right,
like, yo, I was 19, 18-year-old Reina was doing it. That's crazy. Like
right. Yeah.
what? Like 19-year-old Tay was doing it? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. I look back on it now, and it's crazy. And then now I'm at a different stage. I'm looking at like where Layla might want to go to school, my
Mm.
oldest daughter, and I'm like, damn, do I want her to go by herself? I'm like, I keep telling Melody, like, wherever Layla goes, I'm going with her
Oh.
and make sure she's good. And she's like, you got two other kids that need you at home too. I'm like, nah, this is different. She's like going to university, going to college on her own. I did that. I was like, I'm wherever she goes. She probably doesn't want me there, but I'm
Yeah.
moving to the same city, just hanging out, make sure she's fine.
Dad,
Um,
Dad, go away.
yeah,
You're
yeah, I
annoying.
know, I know. Now I tell her I'm going to do that now, and she's like, "Yes, please." I'm like, "It's so funny because you're 8 years old. When you're 18, you're not. It's going to be a completely different conversation. You're like, please go away." So I've been trying. I try to cherish it while I can.
Are you worried about boys and stuff?
It's natural. I mean, and it's part of life. Like if that wasn't like our human makeup, I wouldn't have made her. I wouldn't have met
Yeah,
Melody, you know? So
yeah.
like no, I'm not worried about it. I know it's gonna happen eventually. So no. And I look at it as like I don't have any boys, so I'm like twisting it. I'm like, okay, if they meet like a boy, that could be like my son-in-law, you know?
Oh,
Okay, it could be like my
yeah.
son. So I'm embracing it. Most people that I know that have girls are dreading it, but I'm trying to like flip it in my head and turn it into a positive. So no, I'm not worried about it. I know it's part of life. So we'll just see. I just want to make good choices, and I want to be like a good example for them. Like they see me and
Mm.
they're like, okay, I want someone like my dad, right? So I want to
Oh,
be
of
like a
course.
I try to be loving and empathetic towards them every day. So they're like, okay, this is what I'm going to look for when I'm choosing a guy, man. I want someone to be like my dad. So I try to set the example so they make good choices, and then in the end, I end up having like a son.
Oh, no, of course. No, I think that's no, I think you're doing great. 'Cause it'll be
Thank you.
seeped into their intuition, you know?
Right,
Like they're gonna
right.
pick a
That's what I'm
guy.
hoping for.
Yeah, they're gonna pick a guy like Coach Tay without even realizing it.
Yeah, that's my plan. That's my
Yeah.
master plan.
Nah, it's
Uh,
cool. It's cool. But yeah, no, I just have like, because when I think of you, I'm like Coach Tay, Coach Tay, and I also don't want to keep you too long because I know you got to pick up your babies from work, from school, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, take your time. Honestly, I got time. I got time for you, Reina.
Aw, thanks, Coach. Um, no,
Anytime.
I was just like, when I think of Coach Tay, I'm like, so many memories come up because like we go way back, and then you
Go
were
way back.
really, yeah, and then you like were so important to my development, especially in that
Uh,
stage. No, you were, no, and you still are because like, when you have so many people that doubt you, it's
mm,
fine, and it didn't bother me, like it didn't stop me from doing what I wanted to do, but it was
right.
certainly when I recognized somebody who didn't care, then that meant a lot, if that makes sense. Like
It does. You're gonna make me cry out here. Oh man, I appreciate those words. I
no, it's
appreciate
true
those
though.
words.
No, and I know my mom appreciates it a lot too. So like, going to Target and like training with you and then doing the field
Yeah,
sessions and then having
yeah.
Denzel and like all the
Yeah,
target boys, they're like, it was a certain type of serious person
yeah,
in that group. Like you could only be
yeah,
like to be part of that group, you had to be a certain mentality. And
no
so for
doubt.
me, as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, I'm like, yo, I'm with
Yeah.
the big guys. That's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
we all saw something in you, honestly. Like when I look back, the way you went about your business, showed everybody how serious you were about the sport. And it wasn't easy. Obviously, football is a male-dominant sport, but here you come putting in twice as much work as, everybody else. As an athlete myself, you can only respect that. You can only respect that. So everybody had so much respect for you. Everybody like wanted you to succeed so much because they knew how much work you put into it. And you see other guys that have talent, that have skill, not taking it seriously, not putting in any work, and then expecting a lot. But here you come putting in all the work and not really wanting anybody to give you any handouts or expecting anything. You're just like, I'm gonna put in the work and let's see what happens, right?
Mm,
Let's see how good I can get. Let's see what happens when we meet and I put in more work than you. So that was what drew a lot of people to you. Like, everybody was inspired by you as well, right? Because, like I said, like football is a male dominant sport, but you want to succeed so bad. So it's like, yo, I can apply that to every, aspect of my life. And I still do because I see my girls now. And I always told you, I remember when Layla was born, I'm like, if Layla could be exactly like
oh,
you, Raina, I would be the happiest person in the world, right? Because I just saw, the drive and determination you had. And I knew that if you can apply that to anything in life, you'll be successful. And, look where you are now. So I always knew you would be successful just by how you approach, football and how you went about your business. And, it's just, you put in so much work right now. It's like, you couldn't
oh,
help but to succeed. And if you don't succeed in football, you're gonna succeed in something else, or
yeah.
you know what I mean, or you have no regrets. But that was the biggest thing that inspired me by you. So
Oh, I
thank you for that.
appreciate that. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, no, I
No.
I compare every athlete I meet, boy, girl,
Yeah.
to the standard that you set, and even
Oh.
now. Yeah, they asked me to coach the girls team or the basketball team at the girls' school. And these guys, Reina, you would mop the floor with them. They don't understand what work ethic is. And it's just because of who they're around, right? But I think back, I'm like 15-year-old Reina would be like asking for more. These guys practice is done, they just go home. I'm like,
Mm,
hey, come early, some work. They're like, I gotta wait for my ride, and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to hear excuses. Like if I asked you to do anything, she would ask me for more. It would never be enough. So
yeah.
you ruined it for all these other
Oh,
athletes that I'm with. But that's the
oh,
standard you set. I'm serious.
oh, I appreciate that. And honestly, like when I look back, I'm like, yo, I don't know who that was. Like that was crazy. Like it actually feels like a different person. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's just no, but I have a lot of good memories with you and you really helped set my foundation. And then I think one thing that we can relate is like you went to St. Joe's, so that wasn't really like a football high school,
No,
you know?
no,
So
not at
like
all.
well, in football, how you get recruited is through film, but you didn't really have much film, right?
No, not at all.
No.
My film was mostly came from Warriors, but not from high school. No, not at all.
Mm. Yeah, 'cause I was just curious like how did you create opportunities for yourself when no one was handing them to
Yeah.
you?
Man, it was tough, especially during my age, my time. There wasn't a lot of people going NCAA Division One, and that was like my goal. Like that's what I wanted to do. So, one of my best friends, Chris Rossetti, he went to St. Mike's, but we lived like 10 minutes from each other. So we, kind of grew up together, played all levels of football together. And he was really, and right, it's funny enough, he works for the Giants right now. He's like a director of pro personnel for the Giants right now, but he was really into like scouting, and we'd play NCAA. And back then on the video game, you didn't get the opportunity to. They didn't have the names in the game, so he'd get the football magazine and put all the guys' names in it, and then he'd be doing his research and seeing the like undrafted guys, and no, not undrafted, but like unheralded guys that didn't have any stars, and coming from the pipeline. So that was his thing, and he was like, you know what you need to do. first of all, whatever film you have, like Warriors, you need to make a highlight tape. So we got a highlight tape on DVD. We burned
Yeah.
it on a DVD, and we mailed them to like every single like Division 1 school, every single junior college in the States, like everyone we like by hand, and it costs a lot of money because the send mail is like a little bit of
Yep.
weight. Yeah. That he's like that's what you need to do. So we did that. We heard back from some Division 1 schools, but they wanted me to walk on because they didn't trust the level of competition in Canada, right? So the JUCO was at that time was a better option, and a lot of people were doing that, going to JUCO, then transfer to NCAA, and then there was opportunity to go JUCO, play, get film, and then transfer to the to NCAA. So I was like, whatever you say, man, I'm gonna do it. So it's usually the master behind the plan. I had no idea what JUCO was. I just knew like Division 1 teams from NCAA and TV, right? So that was kind of the way we went about it. Just try to, get me to what my goal was. So and you're right. In high school, I had no film. I played quarterback mostly in high school, but in Warriors, he was my quarterback. So he was
Mm,
feeding me the rock and I was able to make plays. So most of my highlight tape in high school came really from Warriors. So that was a big help.
that's cool. You like literally by hand, like you made a
By hand,
checklist
by
and you
hand. Yeah,
wow.
I'll sit at the computer, burn. I don't even know what it is, but DVDs, we like, take the film from the computer and then it would burn it onto the DVD so that coaches can, put the disc in the TV and play the film. That's how it was back then. There wasn't like we had YouTube, but it was the early stages of YouTube,
Yeah.
where you could just send film out. But when I was done at junior college, that's when YouTube was kind of bigger. So I put my stuff on YouTube, and then
Oh.
same process. But when I was going to junior college, it wasn't. It was all by hand. It was crazy. I feel like I
What?
was like in the olden ages now.
Yeah, you're ancient, coach.
Yeah, I am. Oh my God, it's
You
crazy.
don't look like it though. You still look I'm not even gonna lie. I was scrolling through your Instagram and I'm like, Coach Tay looks the
Yeah.
same.
I try to. That's because I still work out like I'm about to go to training camp, but that's about it. So like I that's one thing I don't want to do is stop working out, stop lifting, and I just
Mm.
literally live the same lifestyle just with kids and more responsibility. I
Yeah.
get up in the morning, train train like I got a game this weekend. So
Uh-huh.
no, I try to keep that up.
No, yeah, 'cause you gotta no, it's like for yourself, you know? Like you want to look good, feel
Yeah,
good, and then you don't want to
yeah.
be, like one of those older parents that can't like,
Exactly.
I'm not trying to diss,
And
but
for sure.
like you want
And
to
it's
be
a
able to
mentality too. Like I want to grind. Like I want to still feel like it just doesn't leave you. You know how it is, right? Now, like
mm,
if you go a week without working out or a week without doing something productive, you don't really feel like yourself, right? It's just a
mm,
mentality that I've always had and probably always have with me. Like there's weeks where like I have to travel or something and I'm not able to do what I want to do, and I don't feel like the same. You know what I mean? But I feel
mm.
great after I'm working out and putting a good strength training session. I feel amazing. So that's kind of part of it too. Try to keep it up.
Yeah, for sure. Like it doesn't, yeah, you're right. I don't think it's gonna leave you. It doesn't leave us. I
Me
think
and
we
Denzel
just
always talk about it. I always talk about it with Denzel. Like every time he calls me, I was like, man, I miss those days where we used to grind, but we get it on our own still. Like
yeah,
even
yeah.
to this day.
I miss Denz too. He's like, he's always like
He's one
so
of
full of motivation.
Oh yeah, he's one of a kind.
He
He's one of a
is.
kind. He was a perfect workout buddy because if you ever had like you're down or you're ever like not feeling it today, he just be like, can I curse on this or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, it's fine.
He's like he snap out of it, bitch. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
So no, so he's like, don't be a bitch, man. Don't be a bitch. Let's go. What are you talking about? Let's go. Let's go. Lift that shit, man. I miss that.
But you need that, like that straight up, like you're right.
Yeah, you need the directness.
Yeah, like you're
You
right. I
need
am
it.
being a bitch. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
He's like,
Yeah, you're
I
right.
got you. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
I got you. Yeah.
Um,
And then you feel 10 times better after.
yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, Um, I'm curious because now you're a dad and like you're done, playing football. Like, what's the
Yeah.
difference between Coach Tay that entered the league versus
Mm.
Tay as a veteran? Like, what's the
Oh.
difference?
So you're talking like when I first got to the league versus like my last year, or like
Yeah.
when I first got to the league, or when I'm not playing.
No, like when you like rookie Tay, you
Yeah.
just got
Yeah.
drafted and then
Yeah.
you're entering as a rookie and then by the time, you're established, you're a veteran, you're
Yeah.
captain for special teams and you
Yeah.
retire. So like that Tay versus the rookie Tay, mentally and like maybe even football
Yeah.
wise, your
Yeah.
values,
Totally totally different person, totally different mentality, totally different preparation. Like everything was different. Like, and sense of urgency was a lot different too. Like I remember being a rookie and you're learning the plays and you're like, okay, I got time. Like, I don't need to like be on cue with every little thing. And
Mm,
that's just like, you don't know. But then you're thrown into the game and then you miss a check and you're like, and they're looking at you like, why didn't you know that? And I'm like, I didn't even think I was gonna play. Like just little
mm,
things like that. But as a veteran, man, the preparation, like I knew every position on my offense, right? I knew what the offensive line was supposed to do because I was involved in protection. I knew like X, Y, Z. I knew R, like every position. I knew all of them. So at that point, I was way more valuable to my team and my coaches, and I had the respect of my teammates, coaches, because they knew how much work I put in to prepare. They knew if anybody got injured, I would be able to step in, and then I would also contribute on special teams. So my head coach, like I still talk to him to this day. He always like whenever I talk to him, he's like, "You were my favorite player because I could trust you to do anything on offense. If anybody got hurt, I know you know what you have to do. I know you know what the running backs have to do in protection, but I also knew what you need if anybody got hurt, you could step in, right? And for an offense and for a team, that's really valuable because injuries happen all the time in football.
mm,
Now compare that to my first year. I barely knew what I had to do, right? On a base level, knew what I had to do. And I remember there was a game, Reina, in Gridiron, Saskatchewan. I'll never forget this to the day I die, probably. So it was a game I don't think I was supposed to play. I was like literally just playing special teams. Didn't really study that much for on offense. I knew what I had to do, but someone else got hurt and they put me in the position that I hadn't studied at all. And this is why they tell you in football, know the whole concept, right? Don't just know your position, know the whole concept. I didn't know the whole concept. I just knew my position. They put me in another position because the rosters are small in the CFL. They don't dress a lot of people. They put me in another position, and I was supposed to be in on a check. So this is like bomber protection. I was supposed to be the quarterback changed the route was bringing me to protect because they were bringing a blitz, right? And I totally did not know what he was saying. It was a heated battle. There's like 40,000 people in Saskatchewan screaming. I'm like just out of it, right? I'm just gonna go run. I run my route and I look back and my quarterback is literally his head is over his heels are over his head. He's getting sacked. He fumbles, and then the other team is running back the other way. And I'm like, what happened? Like, why did he get sacked like that? Why was that so bad? So I'm running off, thinking like, damn, that was bad, man. Like, okay. And then all I see is my coach coming towards me. It's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to block. How do you miss that? What are you doing? And I'm like, wait, what? I'm supposed to block? I'm like, my lips turn white. I'm like, wait, I was supposed to block? What do you mean I was supposed to block? And then all the other coaches are coming up, like, look at the film. He called you in. You're supposed to block. And at that point, I could, those Southwest commercials where you say you rather be anywhere but here. I wanted to be anywhere but there. I felt sick to my stomach. I don't think I could breathe at that moment. I'm getting flashbacks now. It was probably one of the worst moments I've ever had. And this is like I'm still trying to prove myself. I haven't done anything, and I'm getting playing time for the first time. And I'm like, at that moment, I'm like, I am never gonna play again, right?
yeah,
That's how you feel. That's how they make you feel. They
yeah.
make you feel like you're gonna get released. We had to go on the plane. Like coaches are looking at me while I'm walking on the plane, like what are you
Oh,
doing? Like how are you even on? You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
the worst feeling of my life. And from that moment, Reina. So like at that point, so I didn't play the rest of the year on offense. They didn't trust me. I played on special teams, and that's when I was like, I have to be the a demon on special teams to earn
Mm.
these guys' trust back. I have to be a demon just to be able to stay on the roster because they might release me if they don't feel like I'm any good. But then from that point on, I'm like, I am gonna know protections. I'm gonna know like coverages like the quarterback knows it. I want to know protections like the lineman knows it. I want to know every route like every receiver knows it as good as everyone. Just so I may never get the chance, but I if I ever do, I am gonna know make sure I know it, and this will never happen again. That scarred me so much. I made sure I was like over prepared, right? And
Mm.
it might and I look back, I'm like might have been the best thing that ever happened to me because I went from that point where coaches like I cannot trust this guy. We probably should release him to being a leader on the team, being a guy that coach would bring rookies to like teach them how you study, teach them how you do things. Being a leader, a guy that the team coaches all respected because of that moment, right? So my worst moment in professional football turned out to be something that I use and it ended up being the best thing to ever happen to me. And at the moment, I was like, I want to cry. I want to never come out of bed. I was sick to my stomach. Like I barely wanted to show my face. Honestly, it was that bad. But I tried, like from that moment, I made sure that never happened again. And, I kind of turned a negative into a positive. So, that's the biggest difference between rookie Tay and veteran Tay is that preparation was on another. I was the same, probably the same level athlete. Once you get to professional, it's harder to improve as an athlete because you're a
Mm.
grown man and you never you just trying to maintain what you are.
Yeah.
So athleticism was the same, but the preparedness, the way I prepared was completely different, and the way I looked at the game was completely different too. Like as a rookie, you think it's gonna last forever. You
Mm.
think you're gonna be able to play, until the wheels fall off. But then as you get older, you're like, okay, damn, I'm 27, 28, 29. Like you're seeing guys get released and go have to work jobs. You're like, you better don't take this for granted and cherish every day and make the most of every day that you have. So that was is what I would say would be the biggest difference. I didn't take the game for granted anymore, prepared way more, and just became a better leader and I could have kept playing, Rena, if we didn't have our third kid. So and so like I look back now, I'm like that is the biggest difference between rookie and vet Tay.
No, I know you could have kept playing for sure, but you also like you stopped when people like when everyone else is like, "Oh, you can keep going," and even yourself,
Yeah,
you're like, "You
yeah,
can keep going." Like I think you stop because that's forever your legacy, is
yeah.
that
No, for
like
sure.
on top image. And sometimes
Yeah, yeah,
that's worth way more, I think, as an athlete. Like I'm not there yet, but like as an athlete, I think that's worth way more than, keep playing, and then even if you decrease a little bit, like that's the image that's your legacy.
yeah.
So
No, yeah, you're right. I left in my best year, and most reason why I left because of like the 2019, 2020 COVID year canceled. I was
yeah,
home with the kids with our third kid, and I was like, no, I can't leave the kids anymore, right? So, and
yeah,
then I got an opportunity to work for TSN. But you're right, it is worth a lot because I saw a lot of guys like last couple of years kind of like getting injured a lot, and they weren't at their top of the game, and that's kind of like the image that they leave
yeah.
that's like a lasting image with them. For me, I left when I was like, having the best time. So that's I always remember the game. Like, oh, I was having a good time. So I know I'm not mad at all. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And no, like oh, like I got chills when you were telling me like, "Oh, that's crazy. That's an insane like public humiliation." Like
Oh, it was bad. And you know how it goes, Raina. The next day, they played that tape on film, in
ah,
film, and not
yeah,
just to the offense, not just to the offense, to the whole team, to the whole
yeah,
team. Like the coach made an example out of me is to like to get your head out your ass if you're
yeah.
gonna play in the game. He's like, look at this shit, right? We have a player that only knows his position. We put him in another spot and he's swimming. All right, so man, I and the whole team looking at me like, damn, you might be the reason we lost that game. Like it was a
Oh.
we lost by maybe a field goal, I remember. And I can't imagine a worse feeling than making a mistake, right? Letting
Mm.
your teammates down, but then having to relive it the next day in film. And for the people that didn't know you made the mistake, now they know that now they know you messed
Yeah, now
up.
they know.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh
it
no, but it's okay.
was
Now you
bad.
can laugh.
I know.
Yeah.
I can laugh. I'm happy I can laugh about it, but in the moment, Reina, I tell you, I don't know what, maybe I was depressed, but it was not a good time. It was not
No.
a good time. And even worse, they're like, you're not playing on offense, and you don't even get any more reps on offense. That's why I started doing my special teams thing. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta do something.
Yeah, yeah, you just became a demon on special teams.
Yeah, yeah. And at that point, I had never tackled anyone in college. Maybe a little bit in high school. I played some safety, but I had to like teach myself how to tackle at the
Really?
professional level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was because of that. It was because of that.
Yeah, because
I had to do something.
I also remember you saying that you're like, "Oh, Raina, I hate tackling." I
I
remember.
did. I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that's not why I play football. The reason why I got into football is because I saw, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens and people like that catching touchdowns. I'm like, that's fun. That's what I want to
Mm.
do. And then, and even funny, like I became so good on special teams, Reina, that we had one game. There was a player that tore his Achilles before in pregame as a DB,
Uh-huh.
and we were short DB, and they're like, okay, if one more person gets hurt, you have to go on
What?
at DB. And they were like, okay, this is what, and they were preparing me. They're like, this is what
Yeah.
you do. In this situation, we had like a zone check and a man
Yeah.
check, and and then a blitz. So, like three different things I have to remember to do. And I'm like, wow, what did I do in my life where I'm getting told in a professional game that I'm gonna have to go on DB? I'm like, whatever. Like if I mess up, it ain't on me. Like
Yeah.
y'all put me. I don't play DB. You put
Yeah.
me in. But that's how good of a special teams player I became
Right.
because of that mistake, right? So it's
Mm.
funny how life works out. Like your worst moment could like trigger something to make, you turn you
Yeah.
into a different person for the better. You never know.
That's cool. Like, yeah, you really just got shook from your core.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
100%.
That's cool. Um, and then last question, because I don't want to keep you from your. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Like I also when I think of you, I think of like career longevity.
Mm,
Like I'm like, oh, Coach Tay had a long career, and that's something that, okay, well now I'm getting paid to play rugby. Okay,
yeah.
well I know what my goals are, and I'm a rookie to the game. I'm like, okay, I'm still trying to get used to some things, but I'm also thinking of longevity,
Right.
longevity and legacy and me as an athlete, and like I couldn't. The vision that I had in my head when I was playing football, I couldn't reach that, which is fine. And so I started
Hmm.
rugby so I can finish it, like a certain
Yeah.
way. So I'm just thinking, like, from your perspective, like, how did you stay in the game as long as you did? And like, what does that require, to have a long career and like a valuable
Yeah.
career, not just long, but a
Yeah.
valuable career. And like what
Yeah.
kind of thinking is required, like what kind of preparation is required, like what do you think? Like what was your thing?
Yeah, so my thought process, while I was playing, I can remember this vividly, is like every year I always wanted to be a guy that, my teammates and coaches could count on, right? Especially after that incident. I want to be that one person that, teammates and coaches, like they see me, they're like, okay, wow, I can count on that guy, right? No doubts, I can count on that. And for me to do that, I had to be available to play all the games, right?
Mm,
So one thing I never took for granted, as like I took care of my body like every day, even when things didn't hurt. I took care of my body and to make sure that I was available to play every single game that I could, and I never missed a game in the CFL due to injury. So my coaches and my teammates knew they could count on me. Like I was gonna be there, I never even missed a practice. I was there for practice and games, right? And that's because that's what training that we used to do, and it obviously is a very intense training, but it prepared my body for, the rigors of professional football. So that's one thing I'm really, really proud of, being someone that was available, accountable, and just people could see me and they were like, okay, this guy is going to be available to play. And then once I got older, I'm like, this guy's going to be available to play, and he's going to be know the game like a coach, and he's going to be able to,
Mm.
execute like a coach, execute, what the game plan is, right? So I became really good at, in meetings, like taking notes, like taking like serious notes, like even if it didn't matter, I'd take the notes because I wanted to, I want to not just like show the coach that I knew it, like really help my teammates that didn't understand as well, right? So that became a huge part for me. And then, creating meaningful connections like with the people that you're around.
Mm.
I still have teammates today that, I hit up and, we talk like it's, like we're still in the locker room. And that's because like, you're meeting people from all around the world, different backgrounds, right? But part of sports is, and especially team sports is, connecting. And, the better your connection is with the people in your locker room, is the better you'll perform on the court. It's not really the best individual talents that win in team sports. It's the best teams. Sometimes the
Mm.
best teams are the ones that are able. So like I tried my best to, connect with, obviously a team like sort of like 80, 90 people. You're not going to be best friends with everyone, but everyone, that I saw, I'll try to remember something, about them,
Mm.
go out to different types of people. Like, I was just as good as friends with the third string quarterback as I was with the starting quarterback, right? So so like if you ask anybody, it's like, man, Tay, man, I love that guy, man. He always had a smile on his face every day.
Yeah.
He always try to make conversation, try to learn about. I always try to learn about like how people grew up, how they got to where like what you're doing now with me. I try to do that with all my teammates. So like
Oh,
anytime I have ever in anywhere with any of my teammates, I'm like, man, what was it like when you played at USC, man, and you played like in this situation? Like, how did you even get offered by them? Like what was your high school experience like? So like by the end of the year, I would know so much about all my teammates that it felt meaningful. Like I had a connection with everyone in the locker room, right? So that is what I valued most, right? Being available to my teammates, being someone that they felt like they had a connection with. Because like
mm.
football, we depend on each other. If me and you are best friends and you have to block for me, you're going all out to make sure I don't get hit, and you're gonna make that block for me, right? And that's the same thing in that I try. I didn't do that for that reason, but that's just something I try to do is just create connections with people, and I knew that it would pay off, in football and off the field too, right? So then, when you do stuff like that and you're genuinely interested in other people and friends with other people, you ever need anything, you have like, 50, 60 brothers you can call on, a network of people you can call on if you ever need anything. And I know, people in my locker room could call on me. And that's kind of the legacy that I kind of left, on the field is like I was available, made connections with my teammates, I try to make people laugh all the time. Obviously, football is a serious game, but one thing I always try to do is make people laugh daily. I would put stuff on our screen, like I'll do like lookalikes,
Yeah.
so I'll compare like the different players with like funny things, and then
Mm.
everybody walk in the meeting room and they would just be dying, and I'd get so much joy out of that, and people are like, "Say, you're crazy,"
Yeah.
but the more you can make people laugh, elicit emotions, they remember that. People rarely remember like what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
So I was the one in making sure people felt great when they're around me. When they saw me, they're like, "Okay, damn, this guy has a smile. This guy has a positive attitude. This guy, it's a two-a-day day, but this guy's happy to be here." So that's kind of like what I felt like I want the legacy I want to leave behind, and
Mm.
it fit with who I was as like because I love football. I never took it for granted. So but those are the things I wanted to like I knew I wanted to do. I wanted to be available right now. I didn't want to miss any time in football. I wanted the coaches to count on me to be somebody they looked at because now that I coach, I'm like the people that take it serious and are available and are remember the message I'm trying to give the team and help me deliver that message. Those are the guys I appreciate so much more. So
Mm.
that's something I try to do, and I hope I did it. I hope I did it. Yeah,
No,
that's my
I think you
legacy that
did.
was.
No, yeah, you definitely
Thank you.
no, you definitely no, because you're no, but especially by the end, like you were like Natey Adjei, like you're like solidified in the league, and that doesn't just and you've been in it for so long, like that doesn't just happen, especially in the CFL,
Yeah.
like people get cut all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
They just cut you, you know? Like
Yeah,
yeah, you're not guaranteed anything, but you kept you just kept signing. Like
yeah,
another year. So it's just that's proof in itself that, who you are, what you are, and everything that like you established, like so.
yeah.
No, it's so cool, and I'm so proud to have, yeah, Coach Tay was my coach, like Coach Tay was he was my
I
trainer. Yeah, I hung out
appreciate
with Coach Tay.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah, he was my
appreciate that.
mentor, you know?
Yeah,
No, that's awesome. That's cool. No, and I really appreciate it too, cause now like I'm starting my professional career and just kind of it's really it's important I think for me like personally like selfishly to hear what you have to say and what other people have to say and like I want to learn from that and just and I live alone too. For example, it's not like I
yeah,
live with my teammates and stuff. So you're kind of like when you're alone, it's kind of and when your family is so far away, you need
right.
reminders.
Yeah,
Like I don't really
yeah,
have those reminders as much as when I was living at home with my mom. It's different.
right.
So it's
No
just a bit
doubt.
different. So yeah, so it's refreshing to hear your perspective and like no, it's an earned perspective.
Right. I appreciate it. So now that you've heard that, like, what do you think you want your legacy to be, what as you grow in the game and some of the things you want to accomplish?
You're so good at asking questions.
I
It's like you were
used to do
hired
this for
from
a living.
TSN or something.
I used to do this for a living.
My legacy? Um, no, that's a good question. I don't know if I really particularly have words, but I know how I want to feel. Like
Yeah.
I know I want to be proud and I know like I just have a vision of the type of individual I think as a person that I want to be and how people feel. Like I want like you, like I want people to feel good around me and
Hmm.
be like, yeah, that's Reina. Like I can trust Reina. I can count on Reina. Aside from
Yeah.
like making crazy plays and stuff, that vision as an athlete that you have. But also,
No doubt.
I would like to represent Japan proudly. And like and I want to reach a point where when you think of Japan rugby, I
Yeah.
that the image like Reina comes, like Iizuka Reina comes.
There it
Like
is.
that's
There it
yeah,
is.
yeah. So I can't talk
Yeah.
too much, just sometimes you got to keep it to yourself, But
Yeah.
that's
No, I like
that's
it. I like it. I
yeah,
know what you mean.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like when you at that point in time, like when you think Edmonton, like you came
Yeah.
to my mind, like and I forgot what the quarterback's name, but he would come to your mind. But like
Mike Riley. Yeah.
yeah, like you guys were that's the image. But
Yeah.
that only happens through your effort and time.
So
Like that
a
stuff
hundred
takes
percent.
time. So try not to rush
And
it. Try not
you
to
got to
be
do it every day. Yeah, you got to
yeah,
do it every day, and live up to your standard every day, and it'll
yeah,
happen, right? So
yeah, for
that's all
sure.
it is.
And try not to be too greedy, like wanting everything at once?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, you know what? I can relate to that, Raina, because there's lots of times where, I'd have this vision. I was okay, like, man, I want to catch 100 passes. I want 1,000 yards. Like, I want all these things, and I'm like, and I'd be so hard if I ever dropped a pass, Raina, like in not just in practice. It was rare in the games, like, 'cause I was really hard on myself. But if I was in practice and I like, dropped a pass or I didn't get open enough or I didn't, it didn't live up to my standard, I'd be so hard on myself. I
Mm.
would be like, damn, I can't wait to get to practice to like do that again, right? So, um, just one thing I would say, and I look back, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have been as hard as myself. I should have enjoyed it a little bit
Mm.
more, because most of the time I was like watching film of the previous day's practice and just telling myself, man, that's not good enough. Okay, and if I'd make a
Mm.
good play, just skip over it, go to the next. I'm like, I'll just focus on the plays I could do better, right? And not appreciate the good plays enough. That's what I felt like. Because I look back now and I'm looking at film like, oh man, that was a great play. Why didn't I feel great about that in the moment,
Mm.
right? And I was like, now I'm thinking, I'm like, man, you should have been, way just appreciate the good plays just a little bit more and less hard on yourself. Still be a killer. but just, appreciate your good places. I don't know if you're like that, but I just know that I would tell a younger me, don't obsess over the mistakes as much, right? Try to be great,
Hmm.
but don't obsess over the mistakes as much, and you'll be a happier individual. So this is something I would tell myself.
Yeah, no, I know I relate to that too. And just re like when I look back at my entire football career, I'm just like, yeah, I was way too hard on like I didn't
Hmm.
enjoy it as much as I should have. And it just went by like
Hmm.
that. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I really just enjoyed the grind. I wish I
Yeah,
wasn't just so focused on the end result. And yeah, so no, I'm trying to do that more. It's hard.
that's good. It is hard. As a
Yeah.
competitor, you're in go mode at all times, and you don't want to sit back and relax. So you're finished playing, right? So, but I know how hard that is. But you gotta just make a note of it. Enjoy today, be present
Mm,
today,
mm.
and be don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, that's one thing I would tell myself. So,
No, I think
uh,
no, that's a valuable thing. Yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, thank you so much, Coach. I know you gotta pick up, I feel bad that you gotta pick up your babies
no, it's
from
good. Yeah, it's all good.
yeah,
I'm waiting for them right now, but it's so nice talking to you and reliving
yeah.
some of the memories. Oh, it's so good. I wish we could do this more often right now. What took so long?
No, I know. I was adjusting to life over here, but no, anytime, like honestly, yeah, yeah, I miss seeing your face. Like you hit me up whenever.
Yeah,
Like I know
same.
you're a busy man. I know you're a papa now, but next thing you know, I don't want to be like 30.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm 30. Coach, like I have my own kid
Right,
now. It's just like what?
right,
You know?
right, 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 right. Yeah, let's do this more often. I like that. It's nice seeing
Yeah,
you, Raina.
it was nice seeing you too. Thank you so much, Coach. I'm just gonna stop the
No
recording.
problem.